Super weird. I don't know what happened there. It just get a bit of an error on the StreamYard and ended the stream. I was trying to get back into it and I don't know what the fuck happened. So we're gonna go part two, guys. Part two. We're still gonna go for a little bit here, but I don't know if I'm gonna find producer Mark again on the stream or not. I'm gonna pin the link if he wants to join. But yeah, we're on part two. I have no idea why that ended. Yeah, just got a massive error on StreamYard saying StreamYard hung, there's a StreamYard error, and then boom, it was like I thought the stream would still be on. I'm like, okay, if it boots me out, it should still be on, but guess not, guys, guess not. But I'm back here. I'm gonna pin the link. I'm gonna maybe play a clip so that we let a couple folks come in the show, and then I'll get started again.
Do you mind if I stay for a while? All snuggle up in each other's arms. Do you mind if I stay by your side? Just looking at you at the time goes by. Do you mind if I stay by your side? Just looking at you while the time goes by.
All right, guys, part two. Welcome to the program. Welcome to the show, guys. This is the Lox Report. I am the narrative. This is an unsanctioned broadcast. All recordings on the Stream Dodger are those of my own and no one else, man. I don't know what the fuck happened. It literally just fucking error. Like it's like error 4 5 whatever, and I'm like, okay, whatever. Like the web page fucking fucked up. I'll Mark's on the stream. I'll just hop back in, and then it's like the stream is fucking offline. Like I have no idea, but all good, guys. I'm still gonna go a couple hours here, so we're gonna still continue talking watches. I'm sure people will find the show subsequently, and they'll hop back in. But yeah, it was super cool to have producer Mark on the show earlier. That show's still up, so definitely talked a bit of car talk with a good friend Mark, and it's been ages since I've seen producer Mark, and I always ask him, hey man, like, hop on the stream whenever you can, because yeah, I mean, producer Mark's been part of the Archieverse for a long time, a well-loved character in the Archieverse, and friend of mine, friend of a bunch of ours, and loves his cars, likes his watches, likes being around, and a very positive guy, and everything else. But yeah, no, it's really really weird that the stream went down, but all good. I will put up the auction house that I was looking at and continue because I had everything already set up. I wanted to hear what Mark had to say, but you never know. Maybe it was the mobile. Maybe I need a fucking satellite link there, Jay Gray, like Mark does. What does he produce out of interest? Well, he produces a car magazine called the Wicked Car Mag, and that's why he is the producer. Producer Mark, Starlink. Yep, that's exactly it. So back to this auction that I was looking at earlier. So Roger Smith, again, like I was telling a little bit earlier, a bit, you know, a bit traditional for most folks. For Jamie Opulence, I think would have been a great choice for his British heritage watch. But Jamie said, "Tan, do you think I'm made of money? I cannot afford this watch." This watch ended up selling for um, actually probably around the middle of the estimate, middle to low end of the estimate for 3.4 million Hong Kong dollars. So probably 400-ish thousand, 400 and a bit thousand. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if Mark's wrong on the market coming down a bit, because these, like, I mean, you'd be during the peak, you would have seen probably prices, blasting through the high end of these estimates, and oftentimes they do, because a lot of these estimates are a little lowballed at auction houses, you can see, and just because obviously they don't want to have an estimate that's going to completely miss what they predict in the reverse side. So you do see lowballed estimates on a lot of these auction houses. So pretty interesting to see that Roger Smith go for probably that low to middle to low end of the estimate as well. Archie had technical difficulties the other day too. Yeah, super weird, Rich Mitch. Because the only other way this stream would have ended, I mean, we weren't doing any content that would have caused the the stream to go down. And then obviously that stream is still up, like it's recorded and it's up on the channel. The other option would have been I would have fat fingered the end stream like I did on JJ's channel a few years ago. But I'm not on my mobile. I'm at my laptop, so not really that. And it just fucking aired out. So I don't know. StreamYard can be a little difficult sometimes, but that's okay, guys. I wasn't going to end the show an hour in when I had a lot of different things to talk about. As you guys know, we can talk some watches. Rich Mitch doesn't get a lot of watch talk in, but let's keep going through this Hong Kong auction from a few days ago. Obviously, Daytonas. You obviously see a number of a number of Paul Newman Daytonas that come to auction. I'm not really going to look at that one. I'm looking at something more interesting. CB actually asked me the other day if I considered this watch because early on the show I talked about, or early on the previous show, part one version of the show, I talked about obviously my Indian heritage and the connection to why I purchased my perpetual calendar, which is based on, or at least I believe it's based on a piece unique that was ordered by somebody in India and whatnot. And the only watch I would probably, if I were to consider going up one, would be the perpetual calendar chronograph. Now, a bunch of folks have reached out to me telling me not to do that. Fella's one of them. CB said it's not really a great watch for, if you're going to wear it often enough compared to like the perpetual calendar. CB asked me if I'd consider this perpetual calendar chronograph, the 3970. So, iconic perpetual calendar was the 3940. This was the perpetual calendar chronograph of that era. These have obviously gone up in price significantly. I've tried one of these on, not last summer, the summer before in Boston. And the only thing that deterred me from this watch is it's 36 mils, and that's not really the problem. It's 36 mils, but it's a little chunky, and you get a bit of a stubby vibe. It's not really a pleasant, look on the wrist. It just kind of looks small and just kind of tallish or stubby. So not really. Yeah, I just can't seem to like it. Whereas in the 3940, which is also a 36 mil watch, Hans. The 3940 is a lot slimmer, and therefore it fits a lot nicer across the wrist versus the perpetual calendar chronograph here on the 3970. So this one was an estimate of 1 million to 2 million Hong Kong dollars, or a range of 128,000 to 256,000. Now this one sold above the high end of its range. Not surprising. I mean, this is obviously an iconic watch, pretty high in that sense. First series version of it. Looks like it's a certificate of origin and presentation box, so it looks like it's a pretty full set. So not really surprised. And I always told people, like, if you ever go back to streams from 2017 to 2019 on Archie show, I always was spruiking the 3940. I said, man, this is a great buy, because at the time those were probably, I mean, $40,000 at the time. Like, and I kept telling Archie, like, you keep talking about annual calendars like the 5396, which was in the 40s. I'm like, why don't you just fucking buy the 3940 perpetual calendar? And it was the same old, well, it's vintage and I don't like vintage, or, well, the size is small and I don't like that, right? But now, I mean, the 3940 being an icon, just fucking skyrocketed in price. And one of the stories that's not really told in the whole hype train is that story of the 3940. I think the only other person who ever talks about it is Diego, because I know he was interested in one and he's talked to me about it for probably a number of months now. Even when we were in New York, I talked about it with him. But Patek Philippe 3940. Just to give you guys some context, I'll show you a 3940. What I'm talking about here. I'm gonna put up a white gold one, because I always like the white gold version of the 3940. But it's the standard perpetual calendar, not the chronograph. So as you can see here in white gold, but just earlier on the previous show where I showed the 5327, the modern version of this, this was really the iconic perpetual calendar of Patek Philippe's range. And it's been, it had a long run. And actually the president of Patek Philippe, not Thierry Stern, his father Philippe Stern, this was his daily watch, was the 3940. So that obviously elevated it. And there's even that story of he never serviced the watch. Now Archie doesn't like that story, because he's like, well, the guy fucking owns the company, he can service it whenever he wants. But the fact that he never serviced it kind of also was a testament to a bit of the myth of this iconic piece. Yeah, over 300,000 now. P-Cars, we're talking about the 3970 perpetual calendar chronograph. Definitely So what does it include? Accompanied by certificate of origin, 1987, fitting presentation box, further delivered with the extract of archives. Like, it doesn't really, maybe it's a new old stock, or it's just in really really good condition, really crisp condition, but looks pretty crisp to me on this. Now obviously it's a first series, so that adds to a bit of the value as well, but really really nice, man. I'm a huge fan of the 3970. The only reason I told, like I said with CB, was just the size of it is just, it's not the fact that it's 36, it's the size plus the thickness that just doesn't do it for me. And it really, if you try on the 3940, you'll know what I mean. It's just a better fitting watch. What's your thoughts on the 5170 Platinum? Less complications, but thoughts on the 5170 Platinum? This is the chronograph in Platinum. I believe he's speaking about the one with baguette dial. I'm going to pull it up in a second here. Less complications, but a beauty. So let me find a 5170p Patek 5170 platinum. Yes. This is whenever anybody says 15170, I think most people will say this is their favorite 5170. I'm going to show you my favorite. This isn't my favorite 5170. This is my second favorite 5170. I'll give you that one. Hans, knees and toes. So I do like the 5170 chronograph. It does have less complications. I do agree. Hans, this is really the dilemma I'm in, because I like to buy my watches after Christmas. I don't buy watches before Christmas, just because prices do tend to go up a little bit with all the people are shopping for either gifts for themselves or for loved ones and whatnot. So after Christmas, I'm thinking of either the idea was potentially to trade up the perpetual counter to the 5270 perpetual counter chronograph, and if not, to keep the 5320 perpetual counter, but then add a chronograph. And so then the question came up with the 5170, and everybody's like, "Well, get the 5070, which is the previous gen version that was the not in-house version." But I prefer the look of the 5170 than the 5070 myself, just aesthetically. This is my second favorite piece from it, Hans. I'll show you my favorite piece of the 5170. It's the white gold version, black dial with brigade numerals. Let's just pull it up here. Still this one holds decent value on the secondary market, just because of the layout of this watch. So I'll show you here. So obviously, the dial is cooler on the platinum version. You get a bit of sunburst. You get the baguette diamonds on it, and you obviously get platinum as the metal. A good alternative is if you like black dials. I mean, black dials and Patek Philippe's at a time were reserved for platinum watches, so it's a special color for Patek Philippe in and of itself. So when you get a black dial Patek, it's special. And then here you also get brigade numerals, which makes it even more special. So for me, Hans, this would be the 5170 I would get, because you're going to pay a premium for that platinum. It's kind of really sought after. That shoots way above 100K, I believe, last time I checked, at least. So you're kind of in that perpetual counter chronograph money. 5270 on the low end. You're probably 100 to low hundreds with the silver dial. You get into the blue dial, you're probably 120 to 140 in the blue dial. Then you're getting into the green dial, you're probably, closer, the high hundreds, so there's different kind of levels of it. So that 5170 platinum that we just showed, in that sense, it's just not, it kind of shoots too high above what I think, you could add, because on the flip side, for high 60s, low 70s, you can add a Lange Datograph Gen 1 in platinum, right? Which is comparable money to, it's really comparable money to the 5170, which is probably in the mid 50s to low 60s range for this watch. So you're kind of apples, and you're kind of, it's difficult to compare at that point, because Lange 1 Datograph Gen 1 platinum versus this watch, which has brigade numerals, black dial, very very beautiful, clean looking Patek Philippe chronograph. Tough one for me. I'll pull up a Datograph Gen 1 Datograph for you guys, just to see in comparison, and you guys could tell me if I'm off, or if you feel that my look at these pieces is aesthetically is different or is off. I don't know, but we got the Indian telemarketeer joining us, trying to spruik. I'm assuming you're going to spruik Lange, right now. I'm assuming that's what's happening.
No. I had to feed the cat, and yeah. I
You
just saw that you fiked another stream up.
No, you know what's weird is like it just like the web page just blanked out and it said like error 4 or 5 whatever.
Hmm.
And then I thought, okay, well, Mark was on the stream, so I'm like, Mark, just as long as someone's there, the stream would stay up, and I'll just hop back in. And then like I look on YouTube and the stream is ended. I'm like, what the fuck?
It's
So I don't know,
never
man.
you. It's never you.
Nah, it's not me.
Yeah,
let me ask you.
probably Lux ended the stream.
All right, Higgy baby. Let me aesthetically only. Let's look at
Yeah.
pure looks. I'm going to show you this one. 5170 in white gold, black dial, brigade numerals. Okay. Or just looks, Lange Chronograph from the front.
Just looks the Patek. The Patek is more elegant and more beautiful. There is no doubt about that. And anybody who disagrees with me has no clue about watches. Where the Chronograph shines is the movement.
I would agree with you. You're not a big fan of the Patek Philippe in-house chronograph movements. You feel they're just copies of Lemania movements.
Well, they are. It is the same architecture. I mean, they look like clones of the Lemania Eboche. So yeah.
No capped column wheel, Higgy baby. No capped column wheel from the Germans. From
Well,
the Germans.
Well, you know why there is no capped column wheel? Because Lange doesn't need them. The capped column wheel is just preventing those little levers for tripping over the column wheel. That is why they are capped. Lange doesn't need that because they have solid pivots.
Solid pivots, yeah. But Patek likes to go that extra mile and black polish their column wheel caps. So we'll give it to Patek on finishing there.
Our favorite topic is black polishing, and I'll give you that. The cap on the Patek chronograph is black polished from everything that I know.
How about some of these inward angles here, Higgy baby?
Yeah. Now show that on the Patek movement.
Hey, I think I have too many web pages open, so I can't pull that up right now. But obviously, until for me,
there are none on the Patek chrono, on the normal chrono when it's not rattrapante or anything.
What am I supposed to show on this auction? So I've now gone to. I was at the 3970. I was going to go.
Yeah, well, that is where you get sidetracked.
All
so
right, let's end the Japanese watches here. So we got the Masahiro Kikono watch sold for. Estimates were between 200,000 Hong Kong dollars and 400,000, sold for 2.2 million Hong Kong dollars.
Yeah, which is 250,000 US.
Do you know anything about this watch? Like, why?
No idea. What? So why I posted you that auction was, first of all, that Credor, the first Credor Aichi.
Yep. That
was surprisingly beautiful movement, a little bit sterile, but you can see also inboard angles here too, and it's a respected watch. Would I pay 250,000 US dollars for it? Probably not, to be honest.
All right, let's talk about the Credor Aichi. Yeah. It's the Aichi 1, right? Not the Aichi 2.
That is well, it's not called the Aichi 1 because it was meant to be the Aichi, unless Credor then did some amendments. So. It is a little bit a miracle for me why this watch went so high, because personally, and I'm just talking about my taste, personally, I'm a little bit disappointed by the movement. However, it has one inward angle. Yes, I know.
Almost two.
Two. Oh, okay, two. Yeah, we have two.
Aren't you going to count these as well, like you used to? Like.
No, not today. Not today. I'm in a good mood because you had your birthday, and I'm paying my dues.
My dues. Yes. By the way, I was Higgy and I were going to do a live stream on the weekend. He offered to join me on a live stream as a birthday present, but I couldn't do it. But I'm happy you're here because we haven't. I wanted to go through this auction. I haven't had a chance to. So
that is the first Credor Aichi. I think it's 35 or 34 millimeters. So it's a little bit small. It's also very odd on the dial. I think you can agree with that, with the power reserve, which looks a little bit random or desperately placed. What is significant? You can see it actually on that image. There is a big Arab 2, 4, and 6 on that porcelain dial. you can see shades of that, and depending how you turn the watch, you will see those odd-looking Arab numerals. Can you see that big bold 2, 4, and 6? No. Where the minute hand is, there is a 2. You have to look very closely. Can you see the 2 on the dial?
I don't see
It's an Arab 2, very big.
What are you talking about?
You can't see that?
What are you talking about?
You're there. You're there. Maybe you zoom in a little bit more. No. Those are normal batons or indexes. No, there is a big Arab 2 where the index for 2 is. A big bold one.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's brighter. Can't you see it? This is not a watermark. You can see the font. This is not a watermark.
It's hard to see, man.
This is in the porcelain. And depending on the angle.
I gotta zoom in hard here so you can see right here. It's right here, like the 4 is right here.
Yeah, the 7 as well. You can see the 7 and the 2. Yeah. So it's really an oddball. And I had no idea how they are trading, so I'm surprised that those went over $100,000 because they are small. The movement is not really attractive. I think the newer generation is much nicer with a power reserve on the back. They improved the movement. Also nickel plated it. The only explanation that I have is $200,000 almost that it sold for.
Yeah, it sold for really, really high. Like, I'm looking at if there's anything special about. Like, obviously it's limited.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like it's anything.
It has been sold Takashimaya. It's limited edition to 25 pieces, so maybe that's one.
Maybe.
I guess the only reason why that went so high is the Philippe Dufour connection, because that was the first collaboration, or that was the first watch that came out when the micro artist guys teamed up with Philippe Dufour, and probably some collectors see that as the true Philippe Dufour Credor. That is my only explanation.
What's going on, Darth Nagus? Nice to see you, and thank you so much. Yeah, it could be right. Philippe Dufour did say at the time that the best finishing is outside of Switzerland. So
yeah.
I don't think he was talking about the Germans. I think he was talking about the Japanese.
No, not the Germans. He's a big fan of the datograph.
This just tripled. This tripled the high end of the estimate.
It's
so
crazy.
I would agree with you. This is a weird one.
You can compare it with a recent Credor Aichi in platinum that sold, I think, for $35,000. If you look for a Credor, but it's close by.
I'm just going from highest to lowest, so it's just we're gonna go through. You get this Casio. Get this one sold for 1.1.
That's insane. I have no explanation why that went for over $150,000.
Yeah, there's some ballers at this fucking this auction. Like, what the fuck, man? So I don't know. Maybe producer Mark says the market's going down, but you see some crazy shit in this one. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. And there's someone else hopping on. I don't know who this is. Oh, what's going on, Eddie, man? Eddie, you're on the air, Eddie. Yo, Babushka, you're on the air, Babushka. All right, I don't know what the fuck Eddie's doing, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck Eddie's doing, man. What are you showing us here, Eddie, man?
I think Eddie is talking to somebody in Russian.
He's talking to his mom or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, should we mute him?
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's we got the watch reporter in the chat, so I'm gonna have to boot the old watch reporter today. Unfortunately, user's gonna go into timeout. And
bye, motherfucker.
Yeah, we'll get rid of the old watch reporter. We got Jamie Oppins in the chat. Absolutely stunning watches presented. Namaste to you, Jamie. A fascinating dive into watches with Indian themes. Love this so much. Those Indian reverses were amazing. Yeah, man, I did that on the show that ended. I don't know why it ended like that. Some kind of StreamYard issues, but yeah, I did a show prior to this one, part 1, where I covered Indian themed watches. Either inspired, as well as watches that were actually purchased from luxury brands like Patek Philippe and others by by locals in India. So check that out. Yep, referring to the streamers. Yeah, Jamie, we're just talking watches. Me and Higgy, we're going through this this auction that ended a few days ago in Honkers.
You know, when I see that 6263 Cosmograph, I'm getting so annoyed because I had exactly the same watch and I sold it for 8,500 marks, which is less than 5,000 US dollars.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's
big mistake. Big mistake.
That's painful.
Big,
that's painful.
Big Higgy flaw.
I've never been a fan of these Grand Sport autos. Like you
well,
like.
Yeah, I like them, but the tourbillon is not my favorite because it's a little bit too big. It's 44 millimeters. What I like is the fact that just like Patek, they're hiding the tourbillon, so they're not making a hole in the dial and bragging with the tourbillon. So, in my opinion, that is pure luxury and pure class. So I give him the respect that is due. But I would not buy that. Now, if we're talking about the titanium sport auto, then we're talking about something that I would buy.
This one was mid-range of the estimate, between 600,000 Hong Kong dollars and 1.3. So look, I think the people that are appraising this watch really, Laurent Ferrier is a tough one. Kelslowitz said this a few months ago on the stream because I asked him. I said, because Kelslowitz was super interested in buying a Laurent Ferrier. And I asked him, why did you not pick up a Laurent Ferrier? And he said, look, Tan, there's just no community. Like, I can't go on Archie's show or the Colony or anywhere and talk to other Laurent Ferrier owners or people that are excited about the brand. So I think that this is kind of where this brand is, where both you and I.
Is that a legitimate reason? I mean, I thought we were here in for the watches and not for what the other people are like.
No, but people buy it's like cars, right? Like people buy Porsches also because of the community, right? Like, you know, people like being part of the Porsche Club of America. They like the events. They like I guess it enhances the ownership.
So by that logic, I shouldn't have bought that Porsche design watch. I shouldn't have bought that Celestial Voyager because I can't talk to anybody here on the streams. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me.
Sorry, producer Mark. That was a StreamYard technical difficulty, but we are back and talking wristwatches. Yeah, look, I mean, it's to each their own, right? Some people enjoy that. They enjoy, you know, having an enhancement through community when they buy their pieces. You know, interact with other collectors. Other people don't, right? I don't know, but for me, Laurent Ferrier, good brand, underestimated brand. Some of the best finishing out there.
Yeah. And a signature case. I mean, nobody can accuse him of having blatantly copied the Nautilus or the Royal Oak.
Exactly.
He makes his own thing, and I have great respect for that.
Pocket watches seem to not be out, Higgy. Middle of the range here, 889,000. So call it what? I don't know, over 100,000 US dollars.
20,000, I think it is. So. Yeah, it is a perpetual calendar. Beautiful. I can't really talk with you about Lange pocket watches because I don't know enough. I think it has a Grossmann hairspring curve, and so a lot of research has gone into that. I think it's also a minute repeater, but pocket watches are difficult.
Well, let's see this. Let's see this watch specifically in. You know, just in kind of contrast to Lange today, right? Like, you know, and then this could be applied to any brand, right? Patek, any brand that was creating watches at this era, right? Like, design wise, what do you think is similar? What do you think is different? Obviously, the hands are
those hour and minute hands are signature German or Glashütte hands. You find them also at Lang & Heine, for example. I don't like that style. I think it's too baroque and too old-fashioned, but it's contemporary, and yeah, it makes sense.
I mean, I think the hands are the are the first one, but you know, even let's look at the signature, right? Like when you look at the signature, you've got. I'm going to go down. Let's see if I can zoom in. I think it's the max I can go.
When I started,
but you got Glashütte and then you got Dresden here, right? This is interesting. Go ahead.
So yeah, Glashütte by Dresden. Glashütte nearby Dresden, because nobody had an idea where Glashütte is.
Yeah, but you don't see that right now because now it's like
Yeah.
you got
Well,
on the watch, right? And that's it.
yeah,
But
that's true.
different, right? That's interesting. That's completely
Yeah.
different
It is. Look, when I started selling watches, I had a kind of mentor who was so super knowledgeable about watches. He was working long time for Chronometrie Bayer in Zurich, and he told me everything that I know about watches. And of course, we were talking about pocket watches at one point. And he told me, keep in mind that was 1985. He told me the best pocket watches at the moment are made by, and now tell me the brand.
Patek Philippe.
No.
Fragem.
IWC.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Fragem.
No, he was right. They made amazing pocket watches back then, and then he told me about Lange & Söhne. That was the first time that I heard about Lange & Söhne, and he told me their quality was top, never been surpassed. Lange & Söhne and Assmann were the top high-end pocket watches when they were out on the market. So it is not Patek back then. Apparently, to everything that my mentor told me, Lange and Assmann were the top pocket watches at that time.
All right. We got another Japanese watch that same brand for Masahiro Kikuno.
We have a super chat here.
Oh, sorry, I was in the auctioneer. Rich Mitch, £2 Thank you so much, Rich Mitch. Take a look at the link I posted. What do you think? All right, so I gotta go into another module here, Higgins, while I pull that up for Rich Mitch. I'm logged into Archie's account, so I gotta go back into the Maharaja's account so I can pull this up.
Don't fuck that up.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. Is like some other kind of fucking technical difficulties from the live stream, because it is not always panning out sometimes on the streams as you want.
Should I pull it up?
No, I got it. I got it up here now. I just had to go into the other module. And it's a Longines. Accept cookies. Here we go, Higgins. Why don't you grab this first while I hop out, because I gotta close a couple windows here.
Can I see the movement for a second?
Yeah.
Before I say something wrong. Okay, so that is a module chronograph. As it seems, I think that is a 2836 movement with a module. So I like the Spirit line a lot. My personal favorites are GMTs. I'm not keen on the chronographs, but there is nothing wrong with the chronographs. I just find them a little bit thick, and I like the more simple GMT master that is part of the Spirit line. It is a good deal, no doubt about that. But you're looking for a watch below 10,000. So my advice is just like the advice for the Tudor question. Don't waste your money on the way of a good watch. That is a decent watch, yes. There is nothing wrong about it, but very soon you will flip it. What do you think? Oh, Tan left the building, so I'm on my own now.
No, I was there. It was just I was on mute. I don't know why I muted myself. No, I was saying Rich Mitch has been on the hunt for obviously, good affordable pieces. Like he gave us the challenge of the $10,000. He's asking, is it a good? It's not a bad watch. Like it's not a bad watch by any means. No. It's just whether you like Longines. If you don't care about certain things, if you're willing to compromise certain things, that's okay. But again, right? Is it a bad watch for the price point? No, not at all.
It is a very good. Actually, it's a beautiful watch for that price. But I have the feeling that Rich Mitch is on out for something better and cooler, and I'm afraid that he will buy this, and after 3-4 months he will flip it.
We got back to the auctions. We got De Buffoon, high end of the estimate, not surprising with De Buffoon. This is an interesting one. Pre-Daytona 6238. This one sold again, not a Daytona, and sold for I think pretty high above the estimate.
I was listening to Nico Leonard. Usually I'm not listening to him, but he he made a very good video, and he was talking about the Rolex Cosmograph and the Omega Speedmaster, who were both racing or competing for the NASA program, which was not official. So NASA, as far as I know, NASA bought underhandedly chronographs and tested them if they are ready for space. Now, Rolex made a Cosmograph, which was in the spirit of this will go out in space, or this will be a watch for the astronauts. And it didn't become an astronaut, and it was renamed Daytona, so for race drivers. Now, the contrary on the Omega Speedmaster, which was a watch that the concept was for race drivers, and accidentally it went to the moon.
Yeah, and I've always found that was interesting on the sense that, like, Omega, even though they tout the connection to NASA, right? Flight qualified for all manned missions, whatever they put on the back, right? They never changed the name of the watch, right? It didn't become, it is called the Moon Watch, in that sense, but it's not like they changed Speedmaster to like Moon Watch, right? Like they didn't just immediately just axe the name. So that's interesting that they kept the heritage the way it is, right?
So this is a custom engraved Rolex chronograph. I personally like this kind of stuff, but it is a special field, and if you're hoping to get a lot of money out of your purchase, you may be mistaken or wrong.
V22 is Eddie, man.
Eddie.
It's Eddie.
Eddie, man.
So you know what I always said about Rolex is they've always struggled with their dress watches because, in my opinion, they deviate too much from Rolex DNA. Whereas back in the day, you can see this is a chronograph. I don't know if you call this a dress watch, but it's using what a lot of us would consider as modern day dress watch, because you've got kind of the Jubilee bracelet, you've got like an oyster case ish, right? Like, and it's got Rolex DNA, but it's not like on a leather strap. So I always thought that Rolex should have done. You and I were talking about the Patalone earlier, not the Rolex Patalone, but another one. But I always thought that the Patalone, when you have the, let's see if I can find the right one. This one, you got Rolex DNA with the Jubilee bracelet and an oysterish case, but you put like dress or you put complications on it. Like this is what I always felt Rolex should have done, because Rolex does have a dress watch. They have two of them. They've got multiple ones now, but they got the date just and they got the day date. Those are dress watches. They're not sports watches anymore. So I always thought they should have gone this way on the Cellini, kept made the Cellini this kind of a lineup, because I think a lot of people would have been more excited for it.
Isn't this a little bit the case that Patek and Rolex are not competing on the home turf? Just like for a long time, Mercedes didn't make a two-seater sports car, and Porsche didn't make a four-seater.
I think so, right? But I think that, and I think they still exist in that realm where Rolex is not trying to, because they look, their demographic. A guy like Bear Clooney Watches is not seeking to buy tons of dress watches, and Rolex does have a lot of dress watches, and it's not like Bear Clooney is out there buying multiple date just. I know he is, because he just bought one like not too long ago, but most people are not, and so they don't really have a reason to. And same with Patek Philippe, right? Like a lot of their buyers are into sports watches just because sports watches are popular, but a lot of their buyers are also into their dress complications and all.
I think another reason why Rolex is hesitant in doing such a thing, their margin compared to the production cost is outrageous and probably higher than comparable Patek Philippe. Now, if they make such a full calendar, they have to compete with Patek in the sense that they must be cheaper. They can't be more expensive or on the same level like Patek Philippe. Would you agree with that?
I think they're getting closer and closer, right, to being able to justify stuff like that. Absolutely. And some of their watches are that expensive, right? Like, their precious metal watches are as expensive as some Pateks are.
Yeah, but probably Rolex are a little bit scared of a failure when they're when they reissue such a watch. Probably charge more than a comparable Patek and just fail to sell enough watches.
All right, this is a great Porsche reference here. Porsche 963 here, Higgy baby. Great watch talk. Monday morning or Monday 10 and Higgy. Thank you, Pete Cars.
Thank you,
Porsche
Picard.
963, Higgy baby 963. I'm gonna pull up a Porsche 963. This is from Le Mans, and I pull up a 963 from Top Gear for our boy Pete Cars. Because Pete Cars, if you guys don't know, Pete Cars' super chats are all Porsche references.
Yeah.
So we got the Porsche 963 here, Le Mans.
Yeah.
Le Mans. Okay, Bear Clooney watches. Patek and Rolex are not competing. Patek is an exceptional watch brand, and Rolex is a lifestyle brand. They're both kings in their own sphere. Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree that they're not necessarily trying to compete, but they are, right? Like,
the problem is, look, if Rolex made such a watch, which movement are they using? Are they using their normal automatic movement that they're using in the Datejust? They can't do high horology just like that, or it will come with a high cost. Now, for Rolex to develop a high-end movement with comparable movement finishing and everything will be very expensive, and the question is, will they be able to sell the numbers? So I see a number of reasons why Rolex doesn't do that.
Got Rich Mitch, £2 British. Thanks so much, Rich Mitch, who says, I have an Explorer 40. Name down Explorer 2 and Datejust which one. So if he's going to add a watch to his Explorer 40,
okay.
Would you say he should go for an Explorer 2, which is, arguably his complication, I guess you could say, or does he go with a Datejust, which also adds a complication in the date, between the two?
I would go with the Explorer 2 because the Datejust is too similar to the Explorer 40.
I will agree with that one there for you, Rich Mitch, because like when you think of Explorer 40 can be, it says versatile as a dress watch, and can be as versatile for a sports watch, right? Whereas on the Explorer 2, you get it's a sports watch, it's a tool watch. Definitely get the polar dial if you're gonna go, because you already have the Explorer probably in the black dial. But if you like the black dial version of the Explorer 2, it's the most similar to, you could say, the original look of the first Explorer 2 that came out. So yeah, I would agree with Hickey on that one. Not often we agree, by the way, Rich Mitch.
Yeah, it's a miracle. It's a birthday miracle, I would say.
Yeah. Okay, so we're back to the auction here. So I was at Rolex. So we saw that chronograph. Omega Moonwatch. I don't think we need to look at that one. Vacheron AP, not really.
Universal had some strong results, I would say.
Yeah, Universal
Genève. Probably Georges Kahn was in the audience and was soaking up all the Universal for crazy prices just to build up the excitement for his relaunch.
Yeah, Jen was always a big fan of this brand, Universal Genève. He always, I think he had a Bicom packs, pull router. He really, really liked this brand, and I remember when I first met him actually in person. He had just picked up one of his UGs, and I never really saw, in my opinion, what was the craziest part about this brand of what he loved. But I don't know.
Danny, not today. 2 days ago, I worried.
Rich Mitch, £2 Happy birthday, Tan. Thank you so much. Appreciate you and Higgy too. Yes, we are doing Wash Talk here on the ArchieLuxury live stream channel this afternoon. It's hard. We've got a
here. Yeah, a Patek rare handcraft for a good price, actually. It's a little bit too simple of a dial. It's a cloisonné dial, as you can see, but it's not something super exciting if you compare it with Russ's watch, for example. The email.
That's always the best part, right? Is the email at the bottom. It's maybe a little bit hard to see on the screen, so I'm gonna zoom in for you guys here, and you can see right. It's not gonna let me go. I can't go down. Email right at the bottom. You can see there.
Yeah, email. So it is French for enamel. It's email actually. But you better look twice because very often on those email dials you see a little signature with AP, handwritten AP, which is not Audemars Piguet. This is Anita Porcher, the best enamel artist out there. And if your dial is signed AP, then you better look twice.
Thank you, Sam. Appreciate that. Milo Ren is saying Rolex does not have the capability to produce haute horlogerie. they would need to hire experienced, specialized watchmakers.
I disagree with you here, Milo. So first of all, Rolex is so loaded with cash. If they want to do something, they can do it. The other question is, will it make financial sense? Will they be able to recover those development costs, and will it be financially successful, which is always very important for Rolex. But they have the capability to produce high horology. And if Rolex opens tomorrow a workshop for high-end horology and puts up ads, we need stuff, you will be surprised how many people are willing.
Eddie man, are you back, man? Like, Eddie, you hang out with your babushka, man? What are you doing, man? All right, we're gonna mute Eddie.
I think Eddie is still on the phone.
Eddie's doing his own thing. All right, sorry, Danny. Higgy, are you past Rolex now? As in, don't buy them or wear them anymore? I don't know. I'll let you answer that.
No. And I had an interesting talk with James Dowling, a super collector who wrote a couple of books. And he made an article that all the collectors run through phases, and usually you start lusting for Rolex, then you move on to find something better. Then there is a phase where you say, I don't need those Rolex anymore. So you're selling them, and then you realize what a moron you have been, and then you start rebuying Rolex, and that cycle repeats itself. So at the moment, I'm in the phase where I still love my Rolex watches. I would not sell them, but I'm not wearing them because I always find something better.
I don't know, Higgy. We're gonna go into this. I'm gonna show this famous game we used to play, Phases of Watch Collecting. Now, Higgins described what a lot like. I'm gonna pull this up because this was when I did a stream months ago on this. There was a lot, and this is like memes now because it's all like messed up. But let's see this life cycle or phase of watch collecting. So you start on Seiko. Then you get Tag Heuer and other shitty Swiss brands. Then you get buy one decent Swiss.
Can I interrupt you? That also includes Tag Heuer. So that is the moment where you consider a Tudor.
Stage 4 is supposed to be buy all Rolex, but this person ended up scratching that out and saying Steinhardt. Stage 5, it's vintage bitch. Stage 6 is probably where a lot of people are being a smart ass. Self-proclaimed vintage expert is stage 7. Realizing the watch industry is full of shit is stage 8. Been there is stage 9. 10 is settled with the one and done, and then 11 is dead. Do you truly believe that everybody has to go through Rolex where they're describing stage number 4? I don't think so. I've known people in watch collecting that have never owned a Rolex, and really? they own other things, and they just haven't had an interest in Rolex. They kind of got into it.
They never had a Rolex in the point of their.
No, they haven't, right? And not that they can't afford it, right? They had, like,
you must have weird friends. I never met some high profile collector that never had a Rolex.
Well, it's how you describe high profile, right? Like, we sometimes describe high profile as what's in their collection, but this individual has very, very expensive Seikos, right? Like the vintage stuff that are in the thousands of dollars, right? Like, his collection would could be comparable to somebody who's buying luxury watches, but he specifically collects certain things: vintage Seiko divers, vintage other pieces that are not Rolex. And so there's people out there that just but Danny, to answer your question with Higgy, he's still a Rolex fanboy.
Yeah, and Archie said something very smart a couple of days ago. He was referring to Lane Tyrrell, who is wearing a 1680, I think, and probably bought it as a young man, and he still wears it. It became a part of him, and he probably never lusted for another watch. I really envy those people who are content, who are not in the rabbit hole of finding the next hot thing, who are just content and enjoy what they have. What a wonderful life to have. Now, here is one of my favorites.
Did you ever get on the list to get one of these?
I am on the list, but I'm not on the list of buyers. I want to hear it before I'm ordering it.
Ooh, high, beat the high end of the estimate on this one. So that's
Actually, it's quite cheap. The high end. So with those prices, this is Philips Hong Kong. Usually, Philips shows total prices. When the auction is in New York, those prices in red are hammer prices plus the 27% commission that they charge. I'm not sure if it is the same in Hong Kong. So I still don't know if on that price they add the 27%, or if that is the total amount that people paid.
Yeah, I think this is all inclusive, but could be wrong.
Yeah,
This is you showed me this watch. I
yeah,
think last year. You were
yeah.
super interested in it. What was special about it? Why? Because obviously hearing it's the important part, but like, what was so special about
Exactly.
this one? I don't.
It is just about hearing. So yes, there is a very nice anglage and some internal angles and everything like that. Visually, I would prefer probably a porcelain dial, but that is how it is. But the trick and the special thing on this particular watch is the strike, which is not activated on gongs. You have here a metal bell, and I heard some audio files of that bell striking, and it must. So for me, when I hear that, it goes through my bones, and I really want to experience that strike. And if it's really that striking, no pun intended, I'm probably gonna order this watch.
Yeah, because you'd usually see like cathedral gongs somewhere on the on the movement, and
Yeah.
obviously you don't see it here, right? So,
Mm.
pretty
Yeah,
interesting.
the bell is very well hidden, and it is just a very Japanese thing. It doesn't strike like a normal grande sonnerie or petite sonnerie. It only chimes once, and but I want to have that experience how the gong goes, and I'm still waiting on multiple ADs to experience that watch.
Oh yeah, this is an expensive Seiko for
This is
sure.
a fucking expensive Seiko. So we're talking here over $100,000 US. Actually, I don't know the recent price for this.
So is this a minute? This isn't a minute repeater. This is just a
No,
sunnery,
it
right?
is not.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
sunnery. Okay,
Mhm.
okay, yeah. Because you can see it at the bottom where it says you can silence it, or
Mm.
you can have it on sunnery mode, silence, or it's
Well, you can activate it here with that button at 7 or 8, but I think it only strikes once or 3 times. So it's a very odd odd order where it strikes. But I would like to experience that. Now here comes one of my favorites, and that really struck me. The 115 Naoya Hida. We've been talking a lot about Naoya Hida on the Swiss and John show. And also on Elite Horology. This is one of my favorites because it takes homage to the old Patek 96 watches, and I love that dial with the Breguet numeral. Those are engraved and then filled with lacquer.
okay, cool.
And Naoya Hida, I think he is affiliated, or he used to work for Patek in Japan, and he decided to make his own brand. Now, his watches are usually in steel. We're talking about $20,000 US for a steel one, manual, all of them, and all 7750 based. So the base movement is 7750. Then he removes the automatic portion. He makes his own bridge, and many people are looking down on that. I admire what he does visually and also technically. And what is significant here, this gold watch probably sells for 50,000 US, and it's sold for way more in an auction. And that shows that a lot of people have a deep appreciation for those under the radar watches by Naoya Hida, and I hope that this continues.
Well, it could be two things, right? Like, we're seeing obviously in this auction a theme of the Japanese watches are selling for a high end of the premium,
Mm.
or high end, for the price or the estimate that they're saying. It could be just in the fact that they are doing an auction in Asia, that could be one of the reasons, or it could be that truly there are obviously collectors that appreciate these watches and are looking, probably even speculating that these are going to increase in value over time. Higgins said that this guy used to work at Patek Philippe. He's created his own brand. And when you hear stories of FP Journes and all these guys that bought in on these brands early, a lot of folks these days are looking for the next best thing. And I think that might be what's happening here as well.
Yeah, you're a little bit too rational. I can tell you. We've been talking about that. In October, I was in Hong Kong, and by luck, I saw the exhibition of the GPHG watches, and one of the GPHG watch, and you love to repeat that over and over, is Benjamin G's Celestial Voyager. That is always put in the ladies' watch category.
I love it.
You never stop teasing me about that.
Well,
now,
can you just ask Sven Anderson to just put it in the men's category for once, so you don't get trolled?
No, I don't. I'm not mixing business with personal favors, so he can do whatever he wants. Now,
Okay.
what was interesting is, so first of all, I was meeting Benjamin Chi and Alex from Anderson Genève there.
Yep.
By sheer coincidence, and now what did I want to say? So I was around the showcase where Benjamin Chi's watch was, and I was in discussions or talks with other collectors, and of course they saw my Celestial Voyager that I had on the wrist, and they immediately started talking to me, which is not usual in Hong Kong. People in Hong Kong are usually a little bit shy and a little bit reserved, but that was a great conversation point. And you would be surprised how many people in Hong Kong visited that GPHG exhibition just for Benjamin Chi's watch. So the appreciation in Asia for the Celestial Voyager, be it a lady's watch, that Sakura watch is clearly a lady's watch in my opinion. But no matter which version he makes, there is a big society, a big community that really appreciate those watches. And when I'm telling them, in my opinion, this watch is better than a Patek World Timer Cloisonné, they agree. They actually told me that, in my opinion, it's better than a Patek Cloisonné. So I had really great conversations with some collectors who were interested in this particular watch, and they were super excited when I told them, that Benjamin Chi is here, and they said, no, I didn't know that. Really? And I said, come on, let's go over, and I'm going to introduce you to Ben. So it was really fantastic to see how happy those people were to be connected to the creator. And Ben and Alex were almost the only people from the industry that attended there. And I think it was a very smart thing to do. Now, I wanted to start with, I met the owner of the first Celestial Voyager in platinum, that I so much fell in love with, in Hong Kong. She's an attorney in Hong Kong, and she got the very first Benjamin Chi Celestial Voyager. And not sure if you have that picture, that wrist shot where we are both having our watches. I made a wrist shot, which is a little bit blurry, but it means a lot, and it was great to have that conversation with that woman.
Well, I mean, she clearly understood the assignment, right? She understood it was a lady's watch, and then bought it first. Meanwhile, months later, years later,
nasty fiker.
This guy, Jonathan Quill Higgins, sees it up on monochrome and says, "Oh, I'm gonna go order this watch," and then realized after he had paid that it was a lady's watch. So I don't know.
Yeah.
We got some nice comments here. Whole Milk saying Higgy finally found people that agree with him.
Yeah, finally. Yeah. Should move to Hong Kong.
And Matt Lindell, he's appreciating Higgy, and I appreciate Higgy being on the stream. I poke fun at him, but definitely. I had the privilege to check out that watch. I specifically asked you to bring it, when you came to London, because it's, for me, you're traveling to a city that's on the dial. Because it's funny. OC said that to me when I was going to Watch Time New York. He's like, "What watch are you bringing?" I'm like, "I'm bringing the World Time," and he's like, "Why?" And I'm like, "Well, because I'm going to New York, and New York's like on the dial and stuff." And he's like, "Yeah, but it's the same time zone." I'm like, "But it's not the point." Like it's not the point of why I'm taking that watch. If I'm going to New York or when I took it to London, it's part of the travel thing, right? Like, So
I just came from back from a cruise, and I have a Bermudas on the dial,
yes.
and the Azores. Now you keep on teasing me with Bermudas, which is wrong because the official name is Bermuda. Now I had conversations with locals, and they saw my watch, and I told them, look, people are teasing me because I put Bermudas and not Bermuda. Now, you know who discovered the Bermuda Islands?
I have no idea.
A guy called Bermudas. It was a Dutch guy, and they said, well, the guy who discovered our islands, his name is Bermudas. Now, what tells you that? Higgy had the right.
Who discovered?
idea.
Okay, it's
yeah. Google it. Google it. Show it to us.
Well, he's not.
I'm not making this up.
No. And
I see. You're not believing the Higgy. You think I'm making shit up.
Well, you are making shit up because he wasn't Dutch.
Here, Bermudas.
That's not a Dutch name, first of all. Juan is a Dutch name. Come on, man.
I think he was Dutch.
No, Juan Bermudez is Dutch. Come on, Juan. How many Dutch people
Spanish.
do you know?
Okay. It's a Spanish guy. I mixed that up.
So not really. I don't think you're exactly correct. I think you're.
Bermudez. There you go.
No, look, you gotta change your watch to Bermudez instead of Bermudez. Okay, Rolex 5508. The only reason I brought this watch up, not to talk to Higgy about Bond and the 65, 6538 and stuff like that. Nothing Bond related. ArchieLuxury used to own a 5508, which he bought as a two-tone watch. I always like to troll him and say he converted it to a two-tone, but this watch was never a two-tone piece. But Archie bought a 5508 that was all fucking butchered up into two tones. It's like one of my funniest. One of the things I find the funniest about him is him buying this watch in a two-tone and thinking it's okay, right? Nobody's gonna know that this isn't made to be a two-tone. So
here, important thing. I've been told that the guy who discovered the Bermudas was Dutch.
Netherlands were under the Spanish crown. Fucking who knows, man? But Juan is definitely not Dutch. Juan is.
I'll tell you. Can I tell you my personal 5508 story?
Yes.
I think I've not told you that. So
I haven't. No, go ahead.
I'm a big James Bond fan and of course, in my research, I realized that that Bond was wearing a non-Crown Guard Submariner, and it must have been around 1990. Auction catalogs were very small, and there was a small company called Auktion Josef in Germany, and he had a 5508 in the catalog. And actually, I asked him if I could see. I'm not sure. It was not really an auction because I could buy that watch. And I asked him if he could send me that watch for a consignment. That was 2,000 Deutschmarks. Keep in mind, a Submariner or GMT Master was around 4,000. So he sent me that beautiful 5508, which looked almost brand new, with the exception of one big gouge in the case back.
Oh, shit.
And I really liked the watch, and I wanted to buy the watch. And I asked the watchmaker on site, and he told me, "Why are you buying that old shit? I mean, with your discount, with your staff discount, you're getting a new GMT Master for a little bit more than those 2,000 Deutschmarks that you're paying here. Why are you doing that? You shouldn't do that." So guess what? I sent the watch back.
Oh,
and got a Submariner.
Ooh,
yeah.
Yeah, everybody's kind of got that. Like, I mean, I sold my 1680, red stuff. Like, it's just everyone's got stories like that where they had something. Now, that's obviously a lot more painful because you and Archie would have lost shit tons of money if you had just kept those watches. But 5508, definitely a cool
beautiful.
Piece. There's no bond connection on this one, though. I don't think.
No, but it's still a beautiful watch.
Yeah. I don't disagree. We're gonna skip this date because that's fine. We can skip it. I don't know what this is. Nayuta model Atoki
No idea.
Master's Pastime. Let's have
No
a
idea.
look. I mean, it's sold for well above the premium.
70,000.
Yeah, well above the premium. 38.6 millimeters. Let's have a look at what's going on here, Higgy baby. Let's go into the actual photos. Let's zoom in here.
Yeah, it's a little bit like the Philippe Dufour with a big balance wheel. I think the geometry and the architecture is pretty similar. I'm not a fan of that frosted balance wheel. I'm a fan of those adjustment weights. That is a little bit unique what he does there. You see those smiley faces?
Mm-hmm. Like it's. I mean, I don't know if these are smiley faces.
Well, they look like smiley faces.
They look like frowning faces. They look like the look you give me when I bring up Patek Philippe.
Yeah, a little bit, yes. Actually, Mrs. Higgins says those are stinky eyes.
Yeah, I think she's got it right. But yeah, definitely interesting, man. It sold for a decent amount over. I mean, I don't know. It's not really my cup of tea, but it's. I mean, look, these Asian independents are doing really well.
Yeah. Japanese Aquanaut, the blue one.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's cool. This one, like, woof. Look at this estimate: 45,000 sold for 533,000.
I don't. It is unique apparently, so it went up because usually they are selling around 6,000.
I would love to talk to Erwin about this stuff. Like, Watch Chat likes this kind of stuff.
I think it's a Miyota movement, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's wild, man. How much these are selling for. So I mean, I don't know, producer Mark. I don't know if the market's going away. 1675 GMT Master, pretty cool. 2526, decent. Same thing. Again, another one. Yeah, that's wild.
For crazy price. I mean, have a look at
definitely, but it's
not a unique piece. So yeah.
Yeah, this is the one that
Okay, I muted him.
All right. Eddie had his talk. This one right here. So when I first looked at this auction, this is the watch that immediately hit my attention. So obviously sold above retail, above the high estimate.
Yeah.
I looked at this when I first saw it. I thought this was the Quartz Astron, but it's not. And then you were saying, well, it's obviously got the observatory chronometer. It's got it on the dial here, so they've obviously submitted for that competition.
Yeah, in Neuchâtel, yes. So yes, Seiko submitted movements for the chronometry competition. The first time they did, they failed, but then they succeeded to a degree where the Swiss didn't want to have those competitions anymore. And I think in that year, when the Swiss were chicken shit about those Seiko movements, those movements were made. So what Seiko then did, they took back those chronometry grade movements, put them in solid gold cases and sold them. So here you get a true high-end watchmaking, true high-end chronometry, which you barely get from other brands. You remember Zenith did the same for the GPHG.
They did.
Kari Voutilainen finished those movements.
Yep. I remember that one.
Yeah, so it's a similar idea.
Yeah, that was a cool watch, actually.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you wanted to see in this? I was thinking of wrapping up.
No. Here, Grand Seiko. Here, Micro Archie Studio with engraving, sold for half of the retail. Limited 50 pieces. Yeah, half of retail. I'm a little bit disappointed by that result. Fantastic watch. The first one with the engraved case. The beautiful micro artist movement with the internal angle.
Yeah.
And basically a fourth of the previous one. Now, can you go a little bit down, because I think we will see the Credor Archie very soon. Here, isn't that a beautiful breguet here with the Montre Attaque? Here with that.
Yeah, let me pull it up.
Beautiful pocket watch here. Jumping hour, and just like the Cartier Tanka Guichet. And also very rare in two-tone. Usually it's gold or probably white gold or platinum, but here this is two-tone.
Yeah, two-tone,
So I think it's
jumping hours discipline. It's
yeah.
selling for like fucking serious money, man. Pocket watches aren't really dead, I guess, right? People are
Well,
spending.
they have to be unusual. So so here that is the Cartier Santos Dumont that you and I have been talking about.
Yes, I think if Bear's still watching, Higgins sent me this photo and said, "Hey, send this to Bear and see what he thinks." Okay,
It sold for almost $50,000 US. They could have had for way less. Now, why do I like this watch? I grew up with the Cartier Santos when it was edgy and flat. Okay, Joseph D.
Joseph D, $20. Thanks so much, Joseph D. I'm wanting a moon phase on a budget. Glasuta Panamatic Lunar or Drive de Cartier moon phase. Best bang per buck. Glasuta, what do you think, Higgy? I don't know if you're the biggest Geo fan.
Well, it is a good choice when he's looking for moon phase on a budget. No doubt about that. Philippe Piccoli makes a good one, but that is not budget. So I would go Glasuta Original all day long.
I'm going to pull one up here for our good friend who's super chatted. Good money here for Joseph D. Glasuta Original Panamatic Lunar. Moon phase there, and then obviously I'll pull up the Drive de Cartier moon phase. Cartier moon phase, and we'll pull that up as well. But I would agree with you on the Geo. Cartier is okay. It's not a bad moon phase. Here is the Cartier Drive.
If you're really on a budget, look for some old Blancpain watches from the first generation. That beautiful moon phase is a little bit small.
The Blancpain used to do the ones with I always like a moon phase with a face on it, like Brigade.
Yes, with a smiley face.
Yeah. So Joseph D, for me, I'm gonna show you guys one of these because I just find these so funny. I'm gonna pull up the Rolex bow die because the bow die also has it on it, and the bow die is a bit of a peculiar Rolex, and we like peculiar here on the ArchieLuxury live stream. So let me pull up a bow die. Okay, I gotta find one that shows them. Hey, here we go. So this is the Rolex bow die, and you can see here on the moon phase, you can see the little face on the moon phase. I always found these like pretty funny and pretty cool. So I know Brigade did it, Blancpain did it, Rolex did it. I'm trying to remember anybody else, Higgy, if you remember on.
Well, Sarah. That guy from Finland who does those big moon faces with those angry faces. Sarah Pinnava or something like that.
We got Frank V, $5. Thoughts on the IWC Perpetual IW344207 selling for low 12K moon phase for 18. I like the green dial one. All right, so this is IW344207.
Yes,
IWC Portuguese Perpetual Calendar 42. I'm gonna pull up the green dial one for Frank V. This one didn't this come out recently, like a couple months ago?
Yeah. That was a question on Archie. Okay. You mean this watch was presented? I think that is a new model. Yeah.
Well, yeah, he says he likes the green one, so I brought up the 344207. But he's selling this. There's some. Look, Frank V, IWC and any of these complications is a steal on the secondary market. I mean, their repeater is like 40 grand right now on the second. I mean, that's the cheapest minute repeater. I think I asked this to Tim also. I said, Tim, would you take the Reverso minute repeater, which is a little bit more expensive, or the IWC? And he said he would take the IWC, Portuguese minute repeater. But yeah, I mean, I think they're good value on the secondary market.
Yeah, but do you want to have my opinion?
Well, of course. I was waiting.
You know me a little bit. I hate green dials with a passion. I hate the Hulk.
Outside the green dial, talk to him.
I hate those ambient F. I hate Russ's ambient F with a passion. I don't like green dials. Sorry. The normal dial is so much better and cheaper. So my advice would be get the perpetual calendar with the normal dial. It's more classic. It will never get out of fashion. You will never get tired to look at that. Probably that will happen with the green dial.
for those looking to get a little bit deeper into the mind of Higgy, the reason why he doesn't like green dials is, he was so tied to the Kermit, right? His name, his whole song, his character
Another narrative again by Lux Report.
was so tied to the Kermit, and then when the Hulk came out, it just crushed his soul, because everybody liked the Hulk, and ever since he's hated green dials, guys. So like,
I remember when the
product.
Hulk was very new. My good friend and business partner, he wanted to buy a Hulk, and I did everything to convince him not buying it, and he still has it, and shows me the secondary market value and tells me that I've been wrong with my advice. So yeah, the drummer. Yeah,
you got to give us the answer, Higgy. We interrupted you with some very kind super chats. Thank you so much, guys.
So yeah, in my opinion, I'm very sad how the Cartier Santos developed, because in my opinion it became a Panthère. The Panthère has those rounded edges. It is round and soft everywhere. The Santos used to be flat, with a flat bezel, edgy corners. Also, the case profile is edgy, with those screws on the side. So this is how a Santos looks like. And I just love that shape. I love the salmon dial. I love the fact that it's platinum. It has a manual wound movement by Frédéric Piquet, ultra flat. This is such a beautiful, fantastic watch, overlooked by many. I'm not sure how sustainable that $50,000 result is for this particular watch. I think I saw them cheaper on Chrono 24 recently. But this is a watch that I totally love with all the passion that I have. Can you show us the profile? I think there is a profile picture also. 10? Yeah, here. Here you can see this is not rounded up just like a Panthère. This is not rounded up like those modern Cartier Santos. This is the shape of the Santos. Yeah, good point. Werder Bremen, the football club, is green and white. I have no hate for Werder Bremen. Actually, I find them very cool. Has nothing to do with it. Fake news. Now, this morning, Alex, the watchmaker, gave his opinion about Cartier Santos and servicing and everything. Cartier Santos, with the metal bracelet, is a can of worms. Because they were never sustainable. They wear out easily. They're very expensive to replace. You can only get them by Cartier. So be careful with old Santos on metal bracelet. They're really a money pit. But that is absolutely beautiful here.
Yeah, I would agree. I think this is a really nice watch, and salmon dial, Breguet hands, really really nice. Price wise, a bit steep, but
yeah.
But hey, I agree with you. I don't think that's sustainable. What else are we looking at, Higgy?
The Credor Aichi, the first, the normal platinum one, should come very soon.
Okay, we're going past a Explorer 2, a Brexit, at least a Type 20 made it into the auction. I think Archie would like to see that.
Yeah, they are, and almost 50,000. So I remember when you could go get those for very cheap.
We got 222s. We've got some Bamfords. We've got.
Where's the Credor?
I don't know. Wasn't there only one Credor? Like,
no. There was a platinum Credor. No.
There's another one here. We can look at this one.
Yeah, that is a very interesting dial. That is Urushi, and I think that was
no reserve. No reserve, and went for 215,000.
Yeah. So those are little pieces of mother of pearl, if I know that correctly. Mother of pearl inlays, yes.
Yep.
Very striking effect.
Number 19 out of a limited of 60 pieces from Credor. You're not going to comment that the movement's a bit small.
Yeah, the movement is not really. It is not AEG. It's not micro.
Yeah, I mean, I was just waiting for you to be a little unbiased here, Higgy. I know you're a big Grand Seiko fan, but you got to call it out.
Well, I'm calling it out. When it's shit, then it's shit. It's not shit, but it's just mediocre.
Cartier needs to come out with a salmon dial, solid yellow gold, immediate comp. Yeah, I agree.
Actually, that anniversary Santos that you just saw is also available in yellow gold with a normal dial and also in platinum with a normal dial.
Rolex.
I think we are not seeing the AG anymore.
No idea, man. Langenheine.
Maybe different auction. Maybe.
I'm gonna keep going. Maybe it might be a different auction because I'm sure I would have seen it by now. But
Okay.
Yeah, I guess that rounds up the auction talk. I was gonna go get some lunch, Higgy.
I'm getting some dinner now.
Yeah, it is. It is definitely in the evening in Germany. But I appreciate you joining me today on the live stream on both live streams. I did one earlier that got cut off for some reason, and obviously today. But
hey, this is my birthday present.
No,
Don't count on it.
Thank you, thank you so much. We got Eddie who's down below playing video games. Appreciate you, Eddie. Thank you for hopping on. I'm gonna end the stream here, guys. Archie will be on in a few hours, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace out.
Do you mind if I stay for a while? All snuggle up in each other's arms. Do you mind if I stay by your side? Just looking at you, all the time to go.